Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. I'm here to do a video on unfortunate news on the death of George Drum Brown, the one of the co-founders of Kool and the Gang. Kool and the Gang, of course, a famous funk, disco, classic soul band of the 1970s and early 80s, whose most famous song, I would say, is Celebration. A song that, which something I didn't know, was inspired by Islam. Yes, the one of the founders, Ronald Bell, who later became uh, Khalis Bayan as a result of his conversion to Islam. He was reading the Quran one day, and he read the ayah in the Quran where uh, God created Adam and Eve, and the angels were celebrating. So basically, the song Celebration is essentially about creation. Um, he was a member of the Nation of Islam. He joined the Nation of Islam in 1972, which means, I guess, right before they right before they had their initial success. Their first album came out in 1969, but they had their initial success with their 1973 album. And then, of course, just like other members of the Nation of Islam, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad died in 1975, they went over to the leadership of Warithuddin Muhammad and accepted Orthodox Islam. But yeah, this song was featured in a lot of different places, including the first rep. Not the song itself, but the band. Um, Kool and the Gang, they did music for Saturday Night Fever. They did music for Rocky, the first one in 1976. But the song Celebration, it had a lot of different themes that they used it for. It was actually used to celebrate the release of the hostages in Iran, as we talked about in the Iron Sheik video in 1979. Iran was the time of the Iranian Revolution, and for a number of days, 400 plus days to be exact, hostages were held in Iran, American hostages, as the Islamic government of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini was taking over. So this song, oddly enough, that was inspired by the Islamic scriptures, becomes an anthem for the release of the triumph of the release of the victims of the triumph of the first Islamic Republic in the modern world, and that's something. Um, Also, this song was part of the 1982 World Series and has become the theme song for the St. Louis Cardinals, which I guess makes sense since the founder of the band was born in Youngstown, Ohio. I guess he's a Midwesterner, but the band itself formed in New Jersey, so and is also um, was inducted into the Library of Congress as a song of important cultural context because of this. The band itself received seven American Music Awards and two Grammys. Yeah, they really made an impact in the 1970s and early 80s, man, with that whole funk and disco type uh, sound. And they rode the wave of it because a lot of those bands that were out during the disco age of the late 70s, they didn't survive after disco died out and there was that huge backlash, by rock fans in which they burnt disco records. But a lot of these other bands that morphed into what we would call modern day R&B, Kool and the Gang was one of the first. So anyway, rest in peace to George Drummer, and thank you and condolences to his family, and thank you for the contributions of his music to us here in the United States. Peace, love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.